Hello guys, today we're doing something a bit different. I'm showcasing my 1.3 million item an hour shulker box unloader. If you're wondering how this thing works, it uses hopper minecart to empty shulker boxes and then it dumps them and you can pick them up. This machine will only work on single item types, so full shulkers that have one item in it. So say you have hundreds of shulker boxes that are filled to the brim with emeralds, and you want to turn them into emerald blocks. That's kind of what this machine's for. So the items will come here, and you can craft, and then you can put the items in the shulker box. I'll give you a showcase shortly. So how it works is it has 54 hopper minecarts that will sit here and empty the shulker box. Each hopper minecart will get 32 items for every shulker box that gets unloaded. So it will do 10 shulker boxes and then the minecarts get sent off. So as you can imagine, you have 10 shulker boxes of items sitting here to be picked up. This machine, if you want to know how many shulkers an hour, it's roughly 770 at the maximum that it can unload. And it's not designed for empty shulker boxes. It might work with partially full shulkers, and it only works with one item type. It won't automatically destroy empty shulkers, so that's what this button here is for. If you activate that, it will destroy the empty shulkers. Now, because the machine only sends the minecarts off every 10th shulker box, there are ways to send it off before that, and I'll show that shortly. But first, I need to show how to set up the machine. Here we have the hopper minecart storage, which will dispense minecarts here. So to activate the machine, to set it up, you just hit this button. You'll see these lights should turn on in a second. One thing to note about the system is do not press any buttons or levers until both of these lights turn off. So as you can see over here, minecarts are being dispensed, and we should end up with 54. Now if you look up here, it will say there's 54 inanimate entities, which is what we want. That means there's 54 hopper minecarts here. Now, what we're going to need to do is refill these hoppers with hopper minecarts. You can see it's refilled. It doesn't matter if it's overflowing as long as there's not too many there. And then we will activate the system again, and we will watch as these minecarts here will end up here. And that means they are ready to start unloading shulker boxes. And now we can see the second batch getting prepared. So once these minecarts are finished, it'll say at the top that we'll have 108 inanimate entities, which is 2 lots of 54. Once we see that, we know that the system's pretty much ready. All we need to do now is make sure that this here is filled with hopper minecarts. So we'll just throw some in. So this machine does use quite a lot of hopper minecarts, but it reuses them, so you don't have to worry about running out. So that's filled now, so we can just get rid of all this. And now the system is ready to run. It is also recommended that if you build this machine, that you have it inside of a chunk. So as you can see here, the machine fits comfortably within a chunk border. It just prevents anything funky from happening. And I would also recommend to not relog while this thing is running. You could just run into some issues. And other things to note is do not nudge these minecarts. It might be worth putting some glass around just to stop the minecarts from being nudged, but you just got to be careful. If you place them up here on the top, sometimes the minecarts won't move. So now I'll show the machine in action. So here I just have a data chest filled with full shulker boxes. We'll just take all those and pop them into the system. So once you're ready, you can hit the activate button. If you ever want to stop the machine whilst it's running, you can hit this kill switch. And once it's stopped, you can flick this lever back up. So if it's down, it means the system won't be able to run. If you don't want it to accidentally fire, just make sure to take out shulkers after you turn the kill switch, and then flick it back up. So to activate it, we'll just hit this button, and we'll see the shulker box gets unloaded pretty fast. And each hopper minecart, we can only see inside of one at a time, but each hopper minecart, there's 54 here, and each of them are getting 32 items. And it will unload until it's done 10 shulker boxes, and 10 shulker boxes will perfectly fill this hopper minecart. So we'll just wait for that. One more shulker box after this one. And what we'll see happen is the system will automatically move these along, and these ones will get sent away. As you can see, they got sent away. The hopper minecarts get returned, and the emeralds go over here. Then this starts unloading. This machine is pretty fast, so you do need to be able to keep up with it with the crafting. So as you can see here, you can just search for block, and you can just sit here and spam click craft, and you should get this many emeralds if you had full shulker boxes. And then this is just a little manual box loader. You do need to make sure that it has plenty of empty shulker boxes. So all the empty shulker boxes go down here, and that's pretty much it. Say we wanted to kill the system, we just hit this kill switch, and now it'll stop. And say you want to, I don't know, make sure that nothing funky happens, like take out these before you flick this back off. And then if you want to use the system again, you can put them back in, activate, and as you can see, it will unload, and they all should get 32 items. Assuming the shulker boxes are filled, they should all get 32. Theoretically, the system should still work if it's less than full, but it won't be as efficient, and it could cause some issues potentially. We'll sit here and craft the second wave of emeralds, dump them in here, and we should be about done. Yep, that was the last one. So say we wanted to get these emeralds that are in these hoppers here, but we haven't hit 10 shulkers yet. You can actually, this button here is the setup button, but it also will dump the minecarts. So if we hit that, as you can see, they get sent away, and the new one will get sent off. So that's what that can also be used for. The trapdoor is just to kind of prevent you from accidentally hitting it. This is not supposed to be how you turn the machine on. It's just how you set it up or get rid of the emeralds. So as we'll be able to see here, we won't get as many emeralds as before because the machine wasn't full. Yeah. So that's pretty much the showcase of the machine. So as we can see, we put in 27. We put in 27 shulker boxes, and we got 3 of blocks for emeralds, which is how math should work if each of these compresses down into 1 from 9, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's pretty much how this machine works. This machine took a pretty long time to build. If people want a tutorial, I can show a tutorial, but for the most part, I'll just have a world download, and you should be able to investigate it for yourself. The only thing to note is over here we have a hopper clock, or hopper counter, sorry, and there should be 1 item in here, and in this system here, this is a hopper clock, and there should be 27 items in here. So yeah, other than that, all you really need to know is do not hit any of these buttons until both of these lamps are off. Basically, it will just mess with timings and the amount of hopper minecarts if you activate things too early. And other than that, that's pretty much it. As you can see, we activated the machine multiple times, and we still have all of the hopper minecarts. I haven't put in a bunch of effort to compress the redstone, so there is efforts that could be made to compact it slightly. For the most part, I'm happy with it. It does the job I want. One other important thing is that this machine, it may also be important to pay attention to the direction. So if you want to make sure it's in the same direction and you don't have a client such as Onyx client, you can get a pumpkin, and the stem will always point in the northwest direction. So if you want, you can kind of get a feel for how this machine is oriented. The only time I'd really recommend to build this machine is say you had an emerald farm or a gold farm that compresses all of your items into shulker boxes, but then you want to condense them down from, say, gold nuggets to gold ingots, or gold ingots to gold blocks, or emeralds to emerald blocks. Those are the main use cases for this machine. Since it only works on 1 item type, do not be throwing in shulker boxes that have a bunch of different items, because it will break. And make sure the shulker boxes are full shulkers. Other than that, that's the machine and the showcase. If people want a tutorial, let me know in the description. Yeah. Thanks for watching. This is my first technical video, so that's cool, I guess.